Now we'll try to look at another classification of disasters. So when we're talking about classification of disasters, we said uh, disasters were actually man-made or
Now,
natural.
we talk about
Right?
another basics.
Disasters were
This is
man-made
like the
or
reason to why some infections
so
last.
man-made or natural. So sometimes you can have a disaster that you can't really pinpoint whether it's man-made or natural. That's when you say that the disaster is complex. So it's difficult to classify. Okay, it's difficult to classify. So what we got here is this. You know, so complex disasters just occur when a lot of hazards they are overlapping. So when they overlap, they create a cascade of effects that are far more destructive than a single event. Do you understand? So many things are overlapping, many things are happening. So you can't really say this thing is man-made or this thing is natural. You get the thing. So that's what a complex disaster is. So definition, complex disaster is just emergency driven by conflict, political instability or weak governance, like war. Okay? So war and famine. It's like a mixture of you know, natural and man-made issues. You know. Then what next? Compound disasters now. There are situations where two or more hazards they strike simultaneously. Let me say an earthquake. So people are even recovering from the earthquake. Then next you have a disease setting in. You understand? So they're actually quite different, you know. Examples of complex disasters include conflict and humanitarian crises, like civil wars leading to displacement, hunger, and epidemics in Syria and South Sudan. Okay, you can have government failure in combination with natural hazard, like weak institutions. So the government is unable to actually, you know, make all those nice drainages that will basically protect the people from, you know, um, the floods and all of that, you know. So refugees crisis, the armed conflicts, they force a lot of people to migrate and go to other places, you know. So that's what we got, you know. So we have examples of compound disasters like what? Earthquake can occur in combination of with what? Earthquake occur in combination with tsunami plus a nuclear accident. So let's say for example in Japan 2011, earthquake triggered tsunami which caused what? Fukushima nuclear meltdown. Then floods can be combined with epidemics. So floods can now lead to you having high levels of cholera, malaria, other waterborne what diseases. So basically, water is no longer safe, you know, for consumption. Then you can have volcano and conflicts together. So in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, volcanoes were erupting. Okay, volcanoes were erupting and people were still fighting. You understand? So key characteristics is what they usually have cascading events. It's usually not one issue. Okay, something is wrong and another thing is also wrong. Systemic vulnerability. So it usually has to do with poor governance or the buildings are weak or you know. So those issues are the ones that usually you know make it that the issue is now much more you know the issue is now much more you know magnified. So preparedness strategies is this you know um, integrated risk management, plan for multiple hazards not just one, strong governance, community empowerment, resilient infrastructure. So you build good buildings you know so that you can be able to you know tackle those issues when it comes in. So that's what we got for complex hazard and complex. It's actually and they're actually two different things.